And when you have a currency that you don't trust, what do you do? Well, if you have a banking system you don't trust, what do? You buy precious metals. In India, they've been buying gold, forever. Same thing with silver. So I think that's where probably more demand will come in. Russia seems to be a bigger player in the gold market than the silver market. China is new to it. The Saudis, they could be the wild card. I think the Saudis are going to make a big push in mining. And you look at the Middle East over there right now, Dubai. I mean, I've been hearing a lot of stories that Dubai wants to back all their banks in physical gold.
Thomas, how do you balance investing in physical gold versus gold securities like ETFs or futures, and what are the pros and cons of each?
I don't balance it very much. I use a 90-10 barbell approach where 90% is in physical metals, 10%. I don't use ETFs. I like to buy exploration miners just because I enjoy it and I think the upside's bigger. But mainly I enjoy it. I like reading drill results. I like looking at companies that are proving out their properties, and that's one area there I think is going to become explosive if you like to buy stocks, is the exploration miners. Because if you look at some of these companies like Barrick, they've had declining production for 20 years, so that can't continue. So they've got to go out and find new supply. So up there in Canada, the Golden Triangle, I love that area. They're starting to prove some properties up there, and the drill results that are coming in are just fantastic. Now you got Sprott, McEwen, you got Newmont, you got all the big guys all up there. McEwen seems to be all over the Golden Triangle. So I think that's what you're going to see in the stock side. I think exploration miners will be the hottest ticket. But I mean, even if a guy just wanted to buy one of the larger ones like Newmont, why not? I mean, I would buy that probably over an ETF. If I was going to buy any ETF at all, I'd probably buy Nugget because that's the two-time leverage fund, NUGT. I would probably buy that one if you didn't want to buy individual ones. And for the average guy out there who doesn't want to spend the time doing a bunch of research, because I tell you, you do have to do a lot of research when you look at exploration miners. For that guy to buy a fund makes sense. It's simple, it's easy, he buys it. Now the two-time leverage fund, you better be used to the volatility because you might get 7 to 10% moves pretty regularly on that. But yeah, that'd be the strategy I use. I use a 90-10 barbell. I want to keep the bulk of the money. Your really important money is going to be in physical assets, and then the 10% I'd use for, I use it for the miners. You could use it for the ETFs, but for that.
Yeah, as I remember, you liked and still like Goliath Resources, and you highlighted Juggernaut Exploration. What criteria do you use to select these companies? Besides, okay, you mentioned the Golden Triangle jurisdiction is important. What else?
For me, it's the drill results. I mean, Goliath, their drill results are just off the charts. They're fantastic, and that's the main thing I want to look at. I want to see physical evidence of what they're proving out on their property. Where's the gold out? How deep is it? How easy can you get it out of there? Is it feasible to get it out of there? Also, then I want to look at management. I mean, who's running the show? Do I trust them? Have they diluted their stock into the ground? Or are they a guy who does a reverse split every 2 years? Because I don't want to touch any of that. Now, Goliath, you got Roger Rasmus. I mean, he's a fantastic CEO. He's doing absolutely everything right. And he's a guy who is a global CEO. I mean, if you go over to Europe, Roger Rasmus is a very well-known guy. I can't tell you how many messages I get from guys from, Germany, France, Sweden, Switzerland, and they know Roger extremely well. So in that particular case, he's got a lot of eyeballs on him. I know he's got a group out of Singapore that did some funding for him, but I think the guy that seems to be in the lead right now is the guy that might buy him out would be McEwen. And that's what I think. I think you'll go through one more drill season this year, and then I think next year is when you're going to start to see the buyouts come in. Goliath still thinks that they've got at least a $2.5 billion property at buyout. And that's, depending on how the dilution goes between now and then, I would imagine that's a $12 to $15 stock when you get out that far.